We can't hear you.
Just want to welcome you for
Okay.
today's Sutta Studies. It is one of the coldest days in the winter 2025 and 2026. I think you all are inside of your places. You should limit your outdoor activities if possible so that you are safe. Anyway, the cold winter may not be able to hold Dharma friends who love it very much so that they participate in the discussion here as well as from home. So let us begin this evening Sutta studies. Today is the last day I do this Sutta discussion before my 2 months vacation. So that I really believe that the merits out of this session, is really significant for me. I think the Dharma we have been discussing in the Sutta studies help you uh, formulate the kind of Dharma you want from the Buddha's teaching and make your life steady on the noble path. So, with that in mind, let me pay our due respect to the Supreme Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. So, you may join with me in this great venerations to the Supreme Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, once again, you are welcome for this episode of Sutta Studies. Today, like last few session, I was able to send you the notification very late. Some of you have received it just because you were very mindful about the emails. I know that some did not notice it. It's fine. Short notice mean less people. I can understand that. Anyway, let's get into the sutta discussion with the selected sutta for today. This is sutta number 100 from Majjhima Nikaya. It is called the Discourse to Sangarava. Some translators translated this as Sangarava on Deva. Whatever it is a wonderful sutta that allows the Buddha to explain his own quest for enlightenment. So I know that you didn't have time to read the discourse in the Google Drive or in a book because I sent it to you very late. So that I thought of reading this discourse, especially areas where the necessary information are discussed. Sangarava Sutta, by that title, you can understand that it is a name given to a particular person, and the sutta is about Dharma, but basically the Buddha delivered to this particular person. We find this kind of discussion in many places in Tripitaka. The sutta is named by the person's name, or by the village name, or by the name of the Deva who were present there, such as Sangarava Sutta. So we'll go into the discourse like this. Venerable Ananda said, "Thus I have heard, evam me sutang." At one time, the Blessed One was wandering in Kosala country by stages with a large community of monks. Then he came to a particular area. So you know that when the Buddha traveled, sometimes he traveled alone. If the reason he's traveling is a particular thing, he would travel alone. We can see such travels. He did not even ask Venerable Ananda, the closest to him, to join with him to go to those places, because the activity he plans to do is very significant. But in normal traveling, he had a group of monks. Sometimes this group is so huge, about 100, 200, 300, 500. According to my understanding, these monks were either arahants or other enlightened individuals, such as once returner, non-returner, at least Sotapanna. Because the Buddha's advice for the other monks was to stay at one place and practice Dhamma, either at a forest monastery or a cave or in a city, pagoda. So he did not encourage those average monks to come with behind him always, but to stay in particular places and meditate for enlightenment. So we can assume that the large number of monks who travel with the Buddha could be one of the enlightened person, including fully enlightened arahants. So Kosala country, this time the Buddha was traveling in Kosala country. If you are interested in Indian history, prior to first century BCE, you would read the administrative system of India, and there were four big countries, and there were other countries around those big countries. One of the biggest is Kosala country, and it is, of course, the Sakyan country is a part of Kosala country. So that you can imagine how strong the administrative system and how widespread they were. So now we go to the Sutta reading. Now at that time, a Brahmani named Dhananjani, full of faith in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and in the Sangha, was living in the Chandala Kappa. Chandala Kappa is a particular place in Kosala country where the Buddha was traveling with monks. So the Brahmani, she's a woman, and her name is Dhananjani. She had a great faith on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Therefore, whenever she wake up in the morning, and anytime she got during the day, one of the habits she had was to think about the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So here what we have in the discourse is, once when she stumbled, she thrice exclaimed the inspired utterances like that. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa, and 3 times. Suppose she was walking back to the house and she fell, she stumbled with her legs and she was nearly falling. As soon as she managed her posture, what she is saying is Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato 3 times. It means he quickly remembers the Buddha with his great qualities. That shows how devoted she was to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha. At that time, there was a Brahmin youth named Sangarava living in Chandalakappa. He was a master of the three Vedas, along with their invocations and rituals, phonology and etymology, and Isidatta Purana as the fifth, and well versed in materialistic philosophy and the marks of the great man. He became a teacher well known far and wide, uh, instructing 500 Brahmin youth in the sacred mantras. Having heard the Brahmani, having heard the Brahmani Dhananjani's utterance those words, he said to her, "This Brahmani Dhananjani must be disgraced and disregarded. Since when there are Brahmin around, she praises that bald-headed recluse." Right? So we can imagine how frustrated this young Sangarava Brahmin youth. Actually, he was a very educated person to his age. He has completed reading the three Vedas and other books, and he seems to be a very popular teacher for many young Brahmins. Now, when Dhananjani spontaneously, automatically utter these Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, he thought that how reckless, how bad, how negative minded this lady to speak about the good of this recluse Gautama. Then Brahmani Dharanjani said to Sangarva, noble sir, does not know the virtues and wisdom of the Buddha. If noble sir knew that the Buddha's virtue and wisdom, noble sir, you would never think of abusing and reviling him. So Dhananjari quickly said that, don't say that. If you know about the Buddha and his great virtues, concentration abilities, and faculty of wisdom, you are not going to say that at all. I know that you do not know. That's why you are saying this. The madam then Sangarava said, inform me when okay, if you are saying that the recluse Gautama is such a wonderful, highly educated, very intelligent person, please let me know when he comes to this village. I would definitely meet him because Sangarava wants to disgrace the Buddha using his knowledge because he's a Brahmin, and they didn't like the Buddha because Buddha spoke the truth about Brahmanism and other religious tradition in India. They were all based on views. They were all based on ignorance. They were all based on something not true. So the Buddha's direct attack was to those ignorant based teaching style, teaching tradition, but not for those individuals. He, of course, criticized Brahmanism and other teachings out of faith for them as well as the majority. So that, Buddha did not have any problem of saying, but there were a lot of religious leaders and lay people behind them were unhappy about the Buddha because they, of course, nearly losing almost all the dignity from people, because they were when people listen to the Buddha, they realize that so far throughout many years we have listened to nothing, because the other religious leaders put people into a kind of framework that you are created by somebody. So this is the social system that they created. You guys are very low people and we are the highest. So this, if you do not follow this, you are going to be miserable. So people afraid of having punishment from the God Almighty, so that they never questions about. But Buddha was a rebellion, and he came out from the palace, even putting everything aside, and he searched through the truth and he found it by eliminating his mind to wisdom, so that he had no fear of criticizing the existing social system, which was in ignorance. So anyhow, the Sangara, the Brahmin youth, told the Dharanjani, "Let me know when he comes. I want to meet him." So we see that Sangara sees the Buddha throughout many programs from different villages. Buddha was able to reach to this particular village where Dhananjani Brahmani was living. And as soon as the Buddha arrived in the village, Brahmani Dhananjani sent a message to Sangarava. Okay, so now your time has come, because the Buddha has arrived. So you wanted me to book the date and time. Okay, you better go next day at this time, and the Buddha will welcome you. So we see that Sangarava, Brahmin youth, went to the Buddha. One of the interesting thing is that anyone you meet for any good things, no matter how trivial, how frustrated it is, how angry it is, your habit is to treat the other person equally. For example, even if you do not believe the Buddha, suppose you go to the Buddha, first couple of things you are talking about is, how are you doing? How is your day-to-day activities? Are you keeping well? So then the same questions might come from the other side to you, and you are answering them. So such a wonderful conversation is always there at the beginning of the conversation. So we know that Sangara is not happy about the Buddha, but he was able to share his greeting with the Buddha without any problem. That is being done by everybody in that society. So then Sangaro approached Buddha and he asked some questions. I don't want to read all these fundamental questions he was asking, but let me try to read some. Master Gautama, there are some recluses and Brahmins who proclaim the fundamentals of the holy life after they have reached the consummation and perfection of direct knowledge here and now. Among these recluses and Brahmin who proclaim the fundamentals of the holy life after they have reached the consummation and perfection of super knowledge here and now, where does Master Gautam stand? The question is too long for somebody to remember. What exactly this tells is there any religious person who reached to the highest knowledge, and does he explain the ultimate reality of holy life? Something like that he asked. So then the Buddha talks about type of holy people in his answer, Bharatwaja. His first name is Dharanjani, but the clan is Bharatwaja. Therefore, we see the word Bharatwaja is being used by Sangarava is being used by, sorry, the first name is Sangarava and the clan name is Bharatwaja. And Bharatwaja, that title is being used by everybody in official matters. For example, let's say John Fraser. Maybe John is first name, Fraser is the family name, kind of. So in a more official situation, you are called by your surname. Likewise, Buddha here call Sangar as Bharatwaj. That is their family name. I say that there is a diversity among those recluses and Brahmin who proclaim the fundamentals of the holy life after they have reached of the consummation and perfection of direct knowledge and here and now. I'm not saying that everybody could could be the same. The Buddha's answer is that there is a diversity of those individuals. We cannot find one category. We cannot find one type of people. There should be a diversity of those people who understand the same thing, right? So therefore, Bharatwaja, there are some recluses and Brahmins who are traditionalists, who on the basis of an rural tradition proclaim the fundamental of the holy life after they have reached the consummation and proclamation of their knowledge here and now. Such are the Brahmin of the three Vedas. So there are some traditionalists. What they have been mainly doing is they, of course, follow the tradition, and they always look into the reality of life based on tradition, based on whatever they preserve so far, and so forth. This is one category I can make. Do you understand what the Buddha said here?
Traditionalist.
Yeah, I mean, now, I mean, the big picture is that Sangarava asked the Buddha that are there categories of kind of enlightened people.
Okay.
Once they reach to the final knowledge. So the Buddha answered yes. There is a traditionalist. They always, of course, understand the fundamental realities. So their way of behavior is such, so that there are such people. And the second one, Bharatwaja, there are some recluses and Brahmins who entirely on the basis of mere faith proclaim the fundamentals of the holy life after they have reached the consummation and perfection of direct knowledge here and now. Such are the reasoners and inquirers. So basically, there are people basically based on Shraddha, belief, faith. Yeah. So some people always put everything into it based on faith. So Bharatwaja, there are some recluses and Brahmin who in things not heard before, having directly known the Dhamma for thieves, proclaim the fundamentals of the holy life after they have. So basically, the other group, the third one, of course, make sure to get the direct knowledge of what they speak of. So then Buddha talks of, because in the question by Sangara, he asked what kind of things you can see in the world about their knowledge and to what you belong. So he added that part of the questions to the Buddha. Therefore, the Buddha answered, Bharatwaja, I am one of those recluses and Brahmins who, having all directly known the Dharma for themselves, reading things not heard before, proclaim the fundamental of so and so on. Buddha said Sangarava, that I am one of those Brahmin who actually who having direct known the Dharma for themselves, regarding things. I am a sort of person who understand Dharma on my own. Before this, nobody knew it. I'm sort of a person, right?
Yeah.
The very word we can use for this is word come from experience, and those who experience a lot is, I don't have the word here, but there is one word for that. Someone who understands everything from his own experience.
His own experience. Self-taught? Or
No, there is a experientialist.
Experientialist. Okay.
Yes, experientialist. So Buddha is telling Sangara that he is a sort of person who understands everything of his own, Therefore, the better term for him is experientialist. Right?
Yes.
Bharatwaja as one of those recluse and Brahmin who have been directly okay, that was already done. As to how I am one of those recluse and Brahmins who, having directly known the Dharma for themselves, proclaim the fundamental of the holy life after they have reached the consummation and perfection of direct knowledge here and now. That may be understood in the following way. Okay. Here, Bharatwaj, before my awakening, while I was still on an unawakened bodhisattva, I considered thus. Now, from this place to the last moment of the discourse, the Buddha is talking about his effort he put forward for enlightenment. Have you heard about Buddha's struggle for enlightenment? Of course,
A
not the
little bit. I've heard a little. Yeah. Not enough, probably. But he went for it. You know, he left his castle. He became homeless.
After he became homeless, what happened to him?
He sat on a, well, I think he tried many things. He starved himself. He did many things, but at the end, he ended up by a tree, I heard. And he just kept meditating until he awoke. And then he was Siddhartha until then, and then he became the Buddha, right?
Okay, so if you read suttas like Arya Paryesana and Mahasachaka, same Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, you also find what exactly the Buddha talk about. His couple of years of his monastic life. In other words, the Buddha has talked about his own life quest for enlightenment because some monks asked about it. Some monks, when they gathered at the Dharmasala for listening to the Buddha or sharing Dhamma experiences, they were sometimes talking about the glamour and beauty of the Buddha's teaching, beauty of Buddha's life. They were talking about how was the Buddha when he was 13, 15, 20, something like that. So basically, we know that it is a wonderful story. So now the Buddha, because Sangara asked the question, what kind of person are you? Right? So the Buddha knew that what Sangara thinks, and he immediately said that, okay, I'm a sort of person who does this and that. And then what I was doing when I practice self-mortification, these are the things I do. So then this particular person, Dhananjani, was listening to the Buddha for his own journey. Right? The about 60% of the discourse covered this particular thing. As you know, what he was saying, householder life is stiffing a dusty path. The life of renunciation is like the air. It is not easy living in a house to practice the holy life completely in all its purity, like a polished conch shell. Say, what if I were to shave off my hair and beard, put on the saffron robes, and go forth from the horn life into homelessness? So basically, the Buddha talks about his young age. Before I came to this world, I was again in a divine existence. So we have been growing well with these facilities and things like that. so that this family life is a huge responsibility. In the discussion between Sangar, the Buddha admired Sambodayang Garavaso Rajasayatanang iti. The life in house is full of trouble, lot of works to be done. But life alone is much lighter and happier, because you are not going to worry about any family member, anyone you had before. Even though they understood, I think this is what exactly human thinks. So right now, Buddha is relating his whole entire history from the very beginning. Okay, so I will read this little bit. So the Buddha said that when I was the Bodhisattva, on the full moon day of July, he left the house while everybody is crying. While the royal members, including his father, his stepmother, and the others were crying, Prince Siddhartha went out of the palace along with, what is his name? Along with, not Kantaka, the other one, Channa. Along with Channa, the charioteer of Prince Siddhartha, he went, and of course, at some point, Bodhisattva stopped Channa and also Kantaka horse. So, because somebody has to go back to the palace and report that this is the way he went and so forth. So, we see that the Buddha is talking about all these nitty-gritty information of his own life, especially from the time he left the palace. I don't think somebody in average can do that, because suppose you are the son of the king. In today, if you take this story to match today's life, so you are the son of somebody who is rich, who is powerful in the world. Do you want to leave everything and come to the forest and meditate? Do you think that these people do that?
There are some people that could or would for truth. There are.
They
But,
might do, but when we consider what the Buddha did was, I don't think they are peaceful, because coming out of the palace for any reasons and living away from the society in a forest area could be possible, because you have the instinct to live, you have the desire to live, so you go and find food, but you have no interaction with people or any other animals. We may be having such people, but the Buddha's intention was to be away from the lay life, is because of the enlightenment he wants to find out. Right? The intention would be different. So we see from the sutta that the Buddha is talking about his monastic life as a mendicant life. After several try to be mindful, to be kind and compassionate, it didn't work. Then what was doing? He went from teachers to teachers, from place to place, but majority of them rejected, majority of them disregarded. So then what happened was, he went to teachers who are famous at that time for training young people and adults equally. So first one the Bodhisattva went to is Alar Kala, right? He's a famous teacher at the time. He had a lot of students. What he was teaching was arts and science and other areas of need. They were engaging with that. So Alar Kalam was very famous. I say it again. And when Prince Siddhartha, now ascetic Gautama, went to this Alar Kalam and introduced him. So I'm so and so. My father is so and so, my mother and I am from the. So they naturally had a kind of venerations and respect, right? So then, according to Aryapariyasan and Mahasachaka Sutta, where this same thing is discussed, ascetic Siddhartha was able to master on each and every things Alar Kalam taught teach to students. Do you understand what I'm saying? Suppose Alar Kalam teaches a lot
Yes.
for a period of year. Ascetic Siddhartha never want such long time for learning what you are teaching or exploring for years or so. Because ascetic Siddhartha had lot of skills to remember with one statement, one time saying. For example, you take the book and read a huge paragraph for 5 minutes. Prince Siddhartha, if he were there, he could remember everything you said for 5 minutes. That type of photographic memory he had, it is incomparable with anyone. So now we see that Alar Kalam was not able to make her happy. So that we see that now Prince Siddhartha is leaving from Alar Kalam. I don't want to go to details because it's a long discourse, though it is in middle-length discourses, and you might read the entire discourse. It's not that difficult. As I said earlier, this sutta is speaking about mostly the Buddha's self-mortification period. It's a period that the Buddha gave torture to this body first without giving any food, then drinks, and then medicinal stuff, then so many other things. So you want to suppress your self-view by doing so. Otherwise, arrogant conceit might come as replacement. So that when you live with those things, your whole good name is going to be bad. Such thing has happened for many people. So here Alar Kalam has nothing to say, but he came forward and admired ascetic Gautama very much because when Alar Kalam is trying to say something, Siddhartha Gautama understood everything. Right? Now what we have is we write when the teacher says things, and now we have a lot of all the things that teacher said to us, but still we cannot remember. Right? We tend to forget.
Yes.
We are not 100% mindful about what we said, what we did, and what we are doing now, what we are saying now. That's because of lack of qualities. These people, of course, Prince Siddhartha was a genius person. He came for a purpose to this world, and we have certain ways of serving, of course, for sure. So anyway, we back to the Sutta discussion. One of the things, Bharatwaj, I thought under Alar Kalam is that I I too have faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So everybody get into full enlightenment by completing these qualities. That means I have them. And then if you want to make a difference in your life or somebody else's life, just share it because it gives a lot of physical strength. So here we talk about mental strength. I have Shraddha, Virya, Sat, Samadhi, Panya, like these people who own their own building. And if I have those things, I would definitely do the same thing. Something like that the Buddha said. Okay, Alar Kalama, my first teacher, had this wonderful experience. Now you consider how exactly You got it. There you find Shraddha was there, devotion was there for that person, then mindfulness was there, perseverance was there, wisdom was there, so that of course uh, uh, we do not know anything, but the energy we have is accurate and it is enough. Something like that we see. Now, after realizing that Alara Kalam could teach him only particular jhanic experiences, nothing else, so the decision was taken by ascetic Gautama, I should leave this place. After leaving Alara Kalam, he went to Uddaka Ramaputta. There we see Bharatwaja, Dhananjani, still in search of the welcome regarding the supreme state of sublime peace. I went to Uddaka Ramaputta and said to him, also I went to lead the holy life in the Dhamma and Vinaya. I want to lead the whole life in this Dhamma and Vinaya. Bharatwaja, the venerable ones accept me. Bharatwaja, then the venerable one accepted me. Soon, monks, as far as lip reciting and rehearsal of this teaching went, I mastered everything with knowledge and confidence and did other. So here, um, the Buddha talks about the Uddaka one of the first two teachers, and he was on the opinion that religious recitation, wherever they are better. They can heal people. They can give some energies. So that kind of things could have. If that kind of things happen, that would be really good. So Uddaka now is the teacher, and he is a very famous teacher for different things. So here the ascetic Siddhartha went to Uddaka and everybody was welcoming ascetic Siddhartha. And now we see from the sutta that Prince Siddhartha did a kind of analysis whether it is good or bad to have this teaching. In other words, now in a short period of time, the Bodhisattva, the Prince Siddhartha, was able to get the information about and cut all these things so that they are kind of happy, because there is no new worries for them, but it's well managed. So Uddaka taught everything he knew, and ascetic Gautama understood everything without any problem. So it's like I cannot think of a kind of example to this. But anyway, so Uddaka advised, and of course from other sources we know that Uddaka had kind of skills to read the past lives and so forth. Anyway, so the Bodhisattva said under Uddaka that if they have that strength, that faith, I don't mind. So I mean, I will learn them. I'll be trying to find the way out of this suffering and so forth. That's how ascetic Gautama now went into practice meditation. So we see this situation from various media, and kind of respect they offered to the Noble Triple Gem. But I just want to let you know that under Uddaka the Bodhisattva realized certain things, and now he decide that I'm hungry, I have this and that, and then I have this and that, so that your dedication is muddled. But we see from various sources that these people who are already there is up to the point. So anyway, after careful investigation, ascetic Gautama said, Okay, I live. Why Bodhisattva, left for two places? Why Bodhisattva did not stay at home? If I simplify the question, why did Bodhisattva, lived for such a period of time, and why he went away from home, leaving everything behind? Because Arya Pariyasana Sutta tell us that the Bodhisattva, as the Prince Siddhartha, was able to reach to poor people, people who do not have anything. Since this person came to this world for the last time, for a great purpose, everything is set according to it. Even though we do not do anything, it happens, right? So, likewise, we see from the Buddha that ascetic Siddhartha is checking by his fellow people, asking this and that, and so forth, so that ascetic Siddhartha, wants to know whether this is the ultimate of your teaching from Uddhagram Buddha. So, King Kusalagavesi, since I came from King Kusalagavesi, King Satyagavesi, he left the house by the thought in mind that I find the truth. And I need to know what exactly happened to me and my family and all these people. The average age people, about 80, 60, they are walking with crooked back and they cannot see well. But, what is the use of living in this life with all these changes, right? He questions everything he received. He questions everything on the table. As a result of that, he was able to agree with modern things to finalize everything. For example, like the Bodhisattva, today we have to accept certain hardship just because we want to know the truth. So ascetic Siddhartha make his own vision that I do not come back here until I make sure nirvana. So we see from the discourse that that conversation is going on, and their plan is to do something. Anyway, from Bodhisattva's point of view, Bodhisattva understood that these people are not able to give me any support just because the process is difficult. So that let me go and meditate myself. So we see from the sources, particularly suttas, that the Buddha left the palace for a reason, and he worked out onto it, and now everything is done. So therefore, we see that Bodhisattva went to a particular place called Urvela, and 5 monks were there waiting for him. Of course, it happens in a magical way. And then we see that the number of students is going, and everything is happening smoothly. So that I think whatever ascetic Gautama is trying to do is very nice, because it tells that the world that this is not a mere walking, it is a venerations to the Buddha. It is a kind of a strong behavior to establish sasana and so forth. So here, ascetic Siddhartha now started meditation, as he practiced Dhamma to the highest and so forth. And we can see that how the Bodhisattva was able to continue his nearly 6 years of life for something, for very little thing sometime, and so forth. So I do not want to go from here further down, because the entire sutta is about his own quest for enlightenment, which is interesting. But time is a matter. So we should lead into a kind of discussion if you have any questions. Remember, this sutta, like Arya Pariyesana Sutta explain, the way the Buddha practiced self-mortification, Attakila Yoga, and what he was eating, what he was doing in his life, and those things he usually asked from. Basically, that is it. So you should be mindful about every bit of information, bags and things like that. Right. So if you read the Arya Pariyesana Sutta, I think it's better. If you read Satchaka Sutta, it's the same thing is here. You see the wonderful nature of the Supreme Buddha well before his attainment to enlightenment as the Bodhisattva. I always like to read it because the way he tackled certain issues is really practical for us too. When in Bhairava Sutta, one of the suttas in Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha speak about his fear when he was trying to meditate outside without any shelter in the thick night and in cold weather. Why? Right? So the Buddha was talking that I got fear and I noticed that fear is coming and I was able to replace. That particular thing. When I feel not mindful, not nasty and so on, you have spent a lot of money, then in this situation, these wonderful activities of these people work so much. So that uh, I think this is really interesting. Bodhisattvas' life are always example. They taught us how to remove negative things and bring the positive things. They, as a practice, as a long practice, attain to enlightenment. We may be still in the same place because our effort is to go to the first one and sustain on it. Then we can do something. So that is how I take the life story of Bodhisattva. The Buddha is so unimaginably good, but Bodhisattva is really good in this regard. So that, of course, we should read the Bodhisattva's life for some examples, right? Okay, so do you have anything to share? I recommend you to read the Sangarva Sutta. It's exactly copy paste from Arya Pariyesana Sutta and Mahasachaka Sutta, which you find them early, first couple of 20 suttas of the Majjhima Nikaya. There you don't need to read these discourses because they are repetition. But be mindful how the Buddha approach to a particular person for asking some question by the Buddha, or they definitely ask questions from the Buddha. The Buddha had a chance to serve somebody, to help somebody, right? So that is why I want you to read these courses, and reading this course might have some thing. So anyway, this is what Sangara Sutta is.
After studying under the Uttakaramputra, now Bodhisattva says, not only Uttakaramputra, I also have Shraddha, Vira, Satsama, Vipassana. But now all the Shraddha is related to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So during that period, no Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So what's the difference between that Shraddha in Buddhism and the Shraddha in that?
That's a kind of a statement he made in order for him to get the strength. So like after he went to two teachers, he said that, okay, this is the final goal of this particular teacher. When somebody practice this teacher's teaching, this is the maximum he goes. And the teacher has gone there, and any student can go there, but there was no one who went to that particular stage of knowledge. Then he thinks that, okay, this particular teacher has gone to this particular, jhana or whatever knowledge because of he had Shraddha, confidence, virya, perseverance, mindfulness, concentration, wisdom related to his final goal. It's not the Shraddha, virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya the Buddha explained. It is the Shraddha, virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya related to the final knowledge of that particular teacher.
It means it's not related to only for the Buddhism or any teaching.
What he was talking about, Shraddha, the faith or confidence, and other for reaching out that particular knowledge he talk about. Because I have Shraddha. When I say that I have Shraddha, it means I have confidence about it. Okay, you can use this in this way. Suppose you go out today without a jacket. It's 25 minus degree today. So you go out and say that I have confidence that I stay outside without a jacket in this weather. So when you say that, you know who you are and you know how flexible you are, how healthy you are, how strong you are, and you have been doing physical exercise almost all day, so that your body is not giving any trouble when you expose yourself into that kind of weather. So you say, I have confidence. That kind of things the Prince Siddhartha said there. I have confidence. I have perseverance. That means I can work. I can stay there. I can meditate for longer period. I can have that physical and mental strength. And I have mindfulness. I can focus. We have been talking about the skills of Prince Siddhartha. He is able to remember things at the first hearing. Suppose you read a whole paper in front of him, he will remember all the words you read in the paper. That kind of photographic memory Prince Siddhartha had, it is incomparable for anyone. So therefore he said, I have Shraddha, I have Virya, I have Sati, I have concentration, I have wisdom, so that I can do the same thing, like these teachers did. Actually, he did that within a short period of time. Even teachers got a lot of time, several years to do so, but Prince Siddhartha got it within 1 or 2 weeks, very minimum days he used. Then he came to the teacher and proclaimed that this is what I got. Then teacher said, Sadhu, 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 you have absorbed what I absorbed, so we are equal. You are not a student anymore. Please stay here, take my student. I'm too old now, so that take my students as your student and carry out the duties in my school or whatever, monastery or so on. But Prince Siddhartha question, is this all you have? Yes. Then the realization came to Prince Siddhartha that this particular experience I got in my mind is not a solution for the problem of suffering. When I have this, of course, it is gorgeous. You are mindful, concentrated. You don't feel anything happen outside because you are fully occupied for it. It's like you take some drugs and stay, in one posture for a long time. But it is not the solution for the problem of suffering. This means to us that even Prince Siddhartha, as the ascetic in the early stages of life, he realized that suffering is such and there should be a kind of solution for it. Right? And we see from various religious leaders at the time that they have come out of houses and became mendicants, not to find the solution for suffering, dukkha. They, of course, fed up with household matters and throughout generations, they knew that the best kind of life is solitary life near village, near towns, because when they become solitary people, when they become mendicants, they cannot do job. They are not earning money, so they should have a village or township to get help, right? So here we see from various sources that Prince Siddhartha never mind of anything like that. So he then, having realized that nothing happened among teachers, he greeted teachers with respect, and he went to a particular called Uruela direction for his self-mortification. Yeah, what I can say that the Shraddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya is not those same thing in 37 factors of enlightenment, but he was talking about Shraddha and Virya and so forth, particular to that knowledge. Yes.
Yeah. And I have a question. And after aesthetic Siddhartha went to Arakaram and Uddakaram Putra, he realized that nothing to learn from them. Right? And
Nothing to learn from them about suffering, about alleviation of suffering.
so then what were their teaching in that case? Because I remember
their teaching was to get nothingness. It's a kind of jhana. It's a kind of very refined mental state where you don't feel trouble at all. Alar Kalama's highest experience was Akinchanyayatana. That means the sphere of nothingness. And the Uddagramaputta went beyond that, and he was experienced neither perception nor non-perception. It's a kind of mental state. You go and you don't you don't feel that there is a perception or not, something like that. So these are the kind of highest degrees they can offer, if we talk about from the language we know. So both teachers are kind of professors, and they had degrees, and the highest is this. So they are masters on that. But Prince Siddhartha realized that I got these within a short period of time, but it made him sense that this is not the answer for the questions of suffering. Akinchanyayatana, in Pali, Akinchanyayatana, and Neosanya, Nasanyayatana, they are called Arupa Jhana. There are two more before this, Akinchanyayatana and Vinyananchayatana. They are type of mental absorption. You focus, not, Akasa, space. This is space. In between the computer and my face, there is a space. Space is not the blue sky. Blue sky is also a space. Space means nothing solid existing in that. That's called space. So you focus that space from your mind, and you feel that your mind doesn't go anywhere else but focusing on space. Then mind could be expanded. That idea of the mind space as a concept could be expanded further and further, and your mind is there. You don't feel sounds outside. You don't do anything. You don't feel your body too in some cases. So your mind is relying on immeasurable sphere of space. So it's a kind of state where you get away from the troubles. Because you sit somewhere, it's like taking marijuana, I guess. It's like taking some drugs. People take drugs and they don't feel hunger, thirsty, sleepiness. They don't feel any other things in the society. They think that they are living in a super cool state of life. But once they finish the power of the dosage, they feel pain,
but
drowsiness.
Lord Buddha had admired their teaching. I remember because
Yeah,
after
of course.
enlightenment,
He recommended that path. When the Buddha talks about the Cheto Vimutti, there are two ways that you can complete. When you go to the full enlightenment, some arahants complete the whole categories of Cheto Vimutti to the highest, Neva Sanya, Nasanyayatana, it's a kind of cessation of feeling and perception. That's the ninth jhana, kind of ninth stage of mind. And before that, you have four arupa jhana. And Buddha has taken this long-term teaching into his teaching. It's mean well incorporated. He incorporated these jhanic experiences into his practice, but he was careful to tell it. First, you have to attain samadhi. First, you have to practice kind of first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. There, you may be able to practice these four jhanas. It's optional because in order to attain full enlightenment, you don't need to spend time for practicing for arupa jhana, for formless jhana. It's not necessary. But some arahants did that too. So they are called ubato bhaga vimutta. They have completed both ways. It's like elective in the campus. Yeah, for a degree, you have compulsory papers and you have electives. So you don't need to get electives or other courses that are not compulsory for completing your degree. Only thing you need to focus is compulsory thing. Likewise, these four arupa jhanas are not necessary, but if you are able to, you can. So, because in those status, you don't do any akusala, but you don't create akusala state, but you may be, if you do not practice four jhanas first and go into these arupa jhanas, chances are there that you stay in some views that I am the one who attained to Akasananchayatana and I'm the one who came out of it. Now I am in Vijnananchayatana. So you must be fussling with who you are and what you are with this jhanic experience if you do not follow the exact advice from the Buddha. So Buddhas, if you read suttas, you find that first you have to absorb, practice the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. They are well in the Noble Eightfold Path in the Samadhi section. And then you can practice Akasananchayatana, Vijnananchayatana, Akincanyayatana, Nevasanya, Nasanyayatana. From there, you can go to Sanya Vedeta Nirodha. It's a Samapatti that either Arahants attain or somebody attain, and he or she got into at Anagami or Arahant state when he comes back. So, of course, yes, Buddha admired them. And when, remember that Buddha attained to enlightenment, finished 7 weeks, and with the invitation of the head of the Brahma realm, he was seeking someone who can absorb my Dhamma for the first time. And before he thought about the five ascetic, he was, of course, look into the existence of Alar Kalam and Uddakaramputta because they were in mindset of absorbing the teachings of the Buddha. Of course, Buddha admired them very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so do I have a question here? No, I don't. So if you don't have any questions, I would end today's Sutta discussion. I'm sorry that I was late to send you the links with the name of the Sutta. Now you know it. It's Sangaro Sutta, Sutta number 100 from Majjhima Nikaya. Read it. It is interesting that that lady Dhananjani is saying Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhata anytime she had a problem. Suppose you go to the kitchen and you by mistake hit your legs on a couch or whatever. What do you say normally? Buddhu Ammu, my God. Oh my. Yeah, now you can say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhas.
Yes,
Make it short.
yes,
Because if you can say it, your pain is gone.
it's gone.
Because you take some time to recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhas.
Okay,
Any accident, you say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhas.
yeah. And then you feel better.
Of course, because you take times to recite it.
So even when
It's just like taking some breath in and out at a situation. So you become cool naturally.
you get angry,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Suppose you are angry with myself or your single teacher. So just tell me, Ante, I want to recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato, then we'll fight. So recite it 3 times. Then you can decide whether you fight with me or not. All right, so I would end the Sutta discussion right now by wishing you good health and peace of mind. I feel the vacuum of not having Sutta studies when I'm gone, because having discussion in this capacity with you is a great thing for me. But during the trip for 2 months, I may not be able to do so due to, the traveling and also time difference. But I think that you stay with the Dhamma, stay with the experience you already got from the Dhamma. That way you can continue your practice. The support you gave me for my personal practice is unthinkable. It's beyond explanation. So I wish may you all stay healthy and peaceful despite the atrocities of the weather and other things. And if you have any anything urgent, anything important that I know, please call me without thinking twice. At least I know that you call and I can return the call. My WhatsApp is available. My normal phone is available because I changed them into that mode so that I can respond to you if I am away, if I am free. Otherwise, I can call you later. Don't ask me long Dhamma questions during traveling because I may not be able to, but you are welcome. So all the merits I accumulated from my Dhamma activities should be with you. May you be able to live peacefully and attain the enlightenment before I return in 2 months. With that, I may not be able to have any class anymore, and you can teach me to wish you blessings. That's all for the for today. Expecting to meet you in future Sutta studies. I remain here. Sadhu, sadhu.